Okay, let's get started on this shit. We need to begin in the usual fashion. Obviously, y'all are watching this on YouTube because I haven't actually started the stream yet, so do a little YouTube dance. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever the fuck. Hit the little bell icon. Let me clean my screen real quick. And I'll put on my glove. And we'll start up the stream, and then we'll get started talking about, well, there's some ancillary stuff that we're talking about. Ancillary? I don't know. Ancillary. We'll just say ancillary. I think it's actually ancillary. It's like it should be ancillary. Ancillary sounds better. You think? Some of you are probably over there going, what the fuck word is he trying to say? Anyway, yeah. Yeah. Now that I've got the glove on and everything, let's go and we'll fire up the, we will fire up the, we'll fire up the screen share. Have the window I'm sharing up. That would be useful. When you're streaming on Discord, you need to open a windowed preview in OBS for your Discord software to share. So that's what I have to do every time. Microphone down a little bit so it's a little more clear. Discord seems to be having trouble finding these screens I'm trying to share. Your screen. And it's just sitting here. Figure stuff out. There we go. It has, in fact, out. There we go. Boom. And there we go. We are up on screen. Nobody's here, but, you know, fuck it. I'm streaming to nobody half the time anyway. So, anyway, let's begin by, you're familiar with this. You've seen it before. So, I'm going to jump over here. I'm going to grab a Windows Explorer window, and I'm going to drag it down. And, I'm going to talk a little bit about arranging and organizing your stuff. Okay? And I can't scroll down in my pictures directory because I got pictures that YouTube would get very, very upset about me showing. I'm absolutely not opening the Ludes folder. No, not opening it. But the whole point here is that all of the stuff that I do myself is kept in a Clip Studio folder over here. Okay? And in here is all of the stuff that I've done, even the crappy, awful stuff that I did way back in the beginning. I've got these various anime faces that are complete garbage. I've got all kinds of little red sketches and blue sketches and terrible line art and all that sort of thing. But as a particular subject generates more and more stuff, it generates its own folder. And the reason I'm talking about this is that I now have enough stuff in what I'm calling the Gropiverse, which is, you know, all of the stuff for Groping Festival and the similar video games. All of these video games that I'm putting together, they're all going together into one folder because we now have, what is this, a dozen? Yeah, no, that's 14. I've got 14 different pictures here. And all of these kind of are just basic stuff. But let's talk a little bit about how these are arranged. And you can see the first one that I did was Gropiverse 1, which I was thinking, you know, I'd just do 1, 2, 3, stuff like that, because there wouldn't be that many of them. No, there's going to be a buttload of these. So it sort of expanded, and we went from just the 10 sort of headshots of the different people to, we did the first study of what one of these people was going to look like, and that was Ichigo over here. And then Ichigo needed costumes, and we started doing all of the costumes, and that in turn has turned into a reference picture. And this reference sheet is going to expand as well. You can see here that as I've gone, I started off with just like, here are the basic images, and then on the main picture here, we have a sort of palette of what colors are being used in it. And on the costume set, we have that same palette, and then we have additional palettes for all of the individual colors that we use on the different costumes. And then over here, we've created a more formalized kind of reference image. And this reference image has our main picture, which I'm going to have to redo, obviously. And it has these 6 costumes, which, of course, are going to need to be refined. Now, each of those, in turn, is going to be refined into more stuff. And the thing that I particularly want to go over here is that all of these reference pictures start with ref. They have the same format. They all have the same basic information on them. And you can see here that the first part of each file name is ref, followed by an underscore and then the name. And that makes it easy for me to go, okay, here are my 10 reference pictures, right here. And they're all right in a row. They're all right next to each other. And I can see here's Ichigo. And if I'm looking for Shizuka, I know that Shizuka starts with an S, and therefore it's after Ichigo. And knowing which one's Ichigo, I can go, okay, Shizuka is probably over around here. And indeed, there's Shizuka. There she is right there. And I've got all of the notes on what we've got about their individual personalities, which isn't a lot. It's their hair color, the hairstyle, and the size of their breasts. It's not a lot of information. Size of the anime titties is important to the weeb community. It's not really a meaningful indicator of anything on personality, but it is something that they focus a lot on in Eastern media. Something that we focus on too much in most media, in my opinion. But that's like an audience thing. You have to think about what your audience wants and not just what you want. You're not building whatever you're building just for you. If you're building it just for you, then, why are you showing it to anybody? Why are you talking about it? Why are you even building it, really? Unless it's something that has some utility. When you're talking about art that you're building for an audience, like you're building a game, and people are expected to download that game and play that game and enjoy that game, you have to think about who those people are and what those people want. And weebs care a tremendous amount about titties. That's just the way it is. But the important thing about organizing your stuff is it just kind of happens in groups. I started off, I had my pictures, and then I went, well, all my Clip Studio pictures should go in one folder. All of my Gropaverse pictures should go in one folder. And over time, each of these individual people is going to get their own folder, because I'm going to need to have individual images for the game featuring each of these outfits. And those individual images are not just going to be like clipped out of here. I'm not going to clip out a piece of this picture and use it in the game. I'm going to use a full-size, full-length image of that particular picture. And one of the things that I'm thinking in terms of is it's not just going to be for the game. You're also, when you're building any kind of serious effort towards building a product line, toward building a marketable collection of characters, it's very important that you think in terms of, we might want posters, we might want t-shirts, we might want to do a blog or a wiki that talks about who these girls are and stuff like that. And you're going to need different poses and different ideas and a good idea of what their personalities are. You might want to hire voice actors to voice these people. I'm not going to do that to start with, but, maybe later on down the road, that might be a thing that I want to do. It might be something I want to do for the next game in the series. It might be something I want to do for the last games in the series. You never know how far this stuff is going to go. So because you don't know how far it's going to go, you think in terms of that, and you plan ahead to have that kind of stuff available. Now, a lot of people are going to say, hey, why don't you wait until you why don't you wait until you are that popular before you do this stuff? And in my experience, you have to strike when the iron is hot. Like, if you put something out there and it becomes rapidly popular, it will be rapidly popular for a few days. And if you follow it up fast and hard with something people will actually buy, you can ramp up that hype and you can make your stuff more popular. Whereas if it becomes rapidly popular, you don't do shit, it loses its popularity. And then you go, hey, I did a bunch of t-shirts, and everybody's like, who the fuck cares? We're on to the next thing. You got to strike when the iron's hot. You got to have your t-shirt art ready to go. So when somebody goes, oh my God, I wish I could get that on a t-shirt, you go, got a t-shirt. T-shirt's right here. Go buy it. And then they go, oh, I didn't mean that. And you're like, well, fuck you then. I want that on a t-shirt. Here, it's on a t-shirt. Oh, well, sorry. People are like that. Don't be too mad at them. But anyway, as you can see, we started off. This is the same art. If you come all the way back here, this little bust up here in the this little bust up here in the corner there. All right, that's just copied from the initial Groupiverse 1 right there. Similarly, the image of Ichigo is right here. It's the same image. There's no difference. And all of the individual costumes were copied over. I didn't copy the sketches I did over top of them because I think I'm going to need to do new ones. And you can see here that we've got all of the same information is in here. We've got her name. We've got the hairstyle. We've got the hair color. We've got the breast size and how she feels about her breasts. She doesn't care. I use a little circle for doesn't care. And then I use a plus for she's trying to emphasize them. We see a minus for she's trying to push attention away from them. And that's the personality we've got. How big are her breasts and how does she feel about them? That's the extent of each girl's personality right now. Well, that's not really the extent of their personality because there is a personality that goes with the color of the hair and with the style of the hair. And there's also the reason that I copied these busts over is that the shape of the eyes matters. If you look over here, I was telling you a little bit about how eyes have coded information in them for various types of anime characters. And the major reason that I copied all of these busts over was to get the eye shape that I had kind of doodled in there. And I'm going to go more into detail with that as time goes on. And I'm going to sort of put that together. And all of the individual outfits, obviously, they're just copied and scaled from over here. And I haven't done the palette because the palette is just sampled from the individual sketches anyway. So what I'll do with each of these, Ichigo will turn into this kind of reference sheet that I've got together for her. And as everybody else kind of rounds out, I want a decent sketch over here on this side, and I want something full body, so I'm going to modify this image here and give her like a full body sketch, and then I'm going to give the same kind of treatment to each of these body sketches over here, and look up reference and figure out stuff like that. And I'm going to do that for Ichigo, and once I have all of the individual sketches of the outfits done, at that point I'm going to move on to one of the next girls, and I'm going to start worrying about how all of her outfits are going to look. I may do some early sketches first, but what I really want to do is I want to kind of get one girl finished, get a feel for who she is, and then for each of these images we're going to have an office, a subway, a store, individual image, and that's going to showcase multiple poses, and I'm going to kind of decide which of those best fits the way I'm portraying the character. Hold on a moment. I'm not doing well. My sinuses are just like all fucked up right now. But this kind of organization of putting everything together and figuring out how everything's going to look and how your file structure is going to look and what your individual files are going to look like, that's important. And it's particularly important once you actually get into the details when you're putting the game together, because you're going to want to have all of that stuff where you can easily get to it. And similarly, when you're working on something and you need to figure out where something is or how something's supposed to look, you want to know where to look. And so organizing all of your stuff into folders and into directories like that is helpful. It matters. And you want to have high resolution, medium resolution, low resolution. You want to divide everything out into a meaningful. What the hell just happened? Did I click on something? Oh, that's fun. I'm still connected in voice chat, but am I still streaming? Did my stream just drop? I think my stream just dropped. Okay, let me pull my stream back up. Kind of ridiculous. I don't know what happened there, but there's my screen again. So that's back in place. This is fucking ridiculous. But anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, organize your shit. Organize your shit. Have higher quality images than you need. I do all of my images. If I pull up File New, okay, you can see that I'm using an A4 file format at 300 dpi. And that's really far larger than it needs to be. Essentially, that's so I can print any of the characters that I have on a full size piece of paper, like a notebook or something like that, and it's at full print resolution, and I don't lose anything. Also, I do all of my line work in vector so that it's infinitely scalable, which is nice, but it'll also need some modification because as you scale it up, the lines will get thicker, and you don't want the lines to get that much thicker, really. But yeah, my line art, you look down here, is the line art is always, why doesn't that have the color on it? It should have the color on it. Should be forced to black, like so. There we go. But it is always a vector layer for my notes, my sketch, my composition, my line art. The shading and color obviously can't be vector because I'm using fills and that sort of thing, and it's broad areas of color. But all of this is designed around the fundamental idea of I want to have something that is flexible and that I can use for whatever I need to use it for. If I need to make posters, I can make posters. If I need to make t-shirts, I can make t-shirts. If I need to make patches or pins or any other kind of merchandise, keychains or what have you, phone charms, that's an option. That's a thing that I can do. And similarly, as I go through and I do these, it's important when you're doing anime style characters that you think about doing them as chibis, because people are going to want that. And you could always hire somebody to do your art, and that's a thing you could do. I don't want to hire anybody. I want to do all my own art. Why does my Subway outfit not have any hair? Is that like, did I just never give her hair? Yeah, that's what it looks like. I just never gave her hair. That's weird. I should absolutely give her hair. That is a prime example, incidentally, of the kind of dumb shit that you notice as you are going through. on the color layer using a brush. It's not actually making. That is weird. What the hell is going on here? Just not. Oh, I've got selection. Never mind. Some of you were over there going, "You got a selected area." Got a little twin here. A little more. There. Some there. One of the more interesting things that I was finding as I was going through and looking at stuff. Okay, that's just weird. I'm still getting used to Windows 11. It's weird. But there's a particular type of helmet that I want you to be wearing. And this type of helmet here, I found this amusing. This type of helmet is called a pig-faced helmet. And a helmet in Japanese is called a kabuto. And face is kao, and pig is buta. So this is a buta no kao helmet, pig's face helmet, buta no kao kabuto. I thought that was funny. Nobody else thinks it's funny. Brought that up. Yeah, that I thought that was funny. Buta no kao. Or just butakao. Butakao kabuto. And let's see, what else was I going to do? God, it's been like half an hour and I've done nothing and said nothing. I think what I want to do is work in terms of I want to fix Ichigo's eyes. Because these eyes aren't correct. The eye on the right, her right eye, but the eye on the left. This eye right here. That eye is too big. Because perspective. This eye is closer. That eye is away. It should be smaller. Now, the type of eyes I want her to have is I want her to have a kind of an angular eye, which is aggressive. Okay? And the reason I want her to have an aggressive eye is because Ichigo is kind of a bitch. Right? And because she's kind of a bitch, we want her to kind of have that bitchy attitude and that bitchy look to her where she's just like, no, I'm not putting up with your shit. No. And that's the kind of person we want this to be. So looking at this eye here, this eye over here, I think I want it to be narrower. Back up. It's, should be working in fine art. And not sure how I feel about that. Sort of a let's do a new layer on top of this one. We'll start by just kind of we'll lay out a larger. So pen pressure is small bar pressure. That the basic kind of thing. But it's still a question of perspective. A lot of people forget that. Let's jump over here to our line art and we'll go. Here's sort of the here in our line art. We'll go sort of the line of the face. I'm going to start with the chin down here. Comes up and the cheekbone sort of. Here's our forehead up. And then here would be our nose, about halfway down the face. Other side of the chin over here is the side of the jawline. This would be our ear. And if we were to go, okay, from ear to ear, the other ear's on the outside of the face right there. So let's jump into composition. So the other ear would be right here, the other side of the face, if we're like looking through. And if you look at how that goes like that, you draw straight through there, but you're also going around the head like so. Because we're going around the head, here's the bottom of the nose right here. And here is the bottom eye line. So what we've tracked on this is we've tracked kind of where the top of the eye goes and where the bottom of the eye goes on both sides over here. And now we want to go, here's the middle of the face right here. And we want about one eye's width. And what we want to do is go to kind of the outside of the eye as 1, 2, 3, 3 individual bits of distance right there. But those distances are going to be wider toward the front. So I think I need to sneeze. Is it just fooling? I can't tell. Sometimes I sneeze, sometimes I don't. It's driving me nuts. This, where one eye sits and the other eye is sit right here. A little bit wider and larger because of the perspective. This one is closer, this one is farther away. And because eyeball in a socket, it's going to bulge out there. So that's kind of what we're looking at for how the eyes are structured. Also want eyelash. Same on this side, but that works pretty basically there like that. And that's that is about what we're looking for in terms of where the eyes are located. So if we come to our line, Now, today, got it. There, here, I'm not entirely. Okay, where I was. I don't typically try to draw individual eyelashes. Draw them in one coherent mass. You want her fucky kind of look, but that's a little sun. We are working digitally. Shit. Because we're working in vector, it won't look funky when we do it. We want kind of, we want her to be cute, but also bitchy. Upturn to the go. Go back to don't want her pupils too small because small pupils indicate a disconnection with reality. Some crazy type, something out of there. Too much like she's up, not enough. You. Iris. And that's a slightly better look. I'm still not 100% happy with it. I think the eyes are too tall. So let's, again, we are working digitally. Trim. Okay. So, okay. Now our nose is too high. Tract mode, that bit. Form here, enter, select, or okay, that's better. A better look. Still not 100% happy with that. I want her eyes a little closer together than usual because it's a sort of predatory look, but I think these are a little too close. That's better. But that a bit. Okay, that's an improvement. Make that rather better. Um, Real question is, face shape. That's that's pretty good there. Select and we have a liquid tool. Store. Edit. Is I have to select first. Let's select this bit. There it is. Should be in. Huh. Click. Copy. Selection launcher setting. Where is Liquify and Clone Studio Paint? I know we have it. There we go. That's something. Wow. Good. Really need to get used to using tools. I don't use them as I should. Uh, I don't want too hot. You want kind of should be back. It's not bad. Um, that looks about right. Um, so That's about the shape. And now that we've got smaller, cuter ears, let's put a hairline. And we goes together there, and there's so one, this is a little way too close to the top of the form. Down, like all right. I want the up, and then what happens here is we've kind of gathered this together and pulled it outward, pull it straight out from the head. You think about how long the hair is, and you pull it out, pull the hair out right here, and then you go, okay, now gravity is going to grab hold of that and it's going to pull it down. Okay? Now, if it wasn't gathered tightly here, it would just all fall straight down. But because it's gathered tightly here and forced, kind of point out in this little spray, it can't all fall down like that. So this piece right here is going to fall down here, and that's going to kind of support the other pieces. And as it falls down, okay, it's going to be able to assert its own natural shape, and it's going to come back over here. It's the same up here. It's kind of sticking out to the side. It's trying to stick straight up, but it can't because gravity's got a hold of it. Gravity's down. Because of gravity down, it's kind of full. And as the hair thins, as it gets toward the end, it all kind of clings to itself with static electricity and other forces. And that produces this sort of shape. And you get the same thing happen here, but we're looking at it from an angle. It's the same basic concept. And the two images are running each other. So back that up a little. I'm going to grab this bit. Should we? And then we're going to subtract that. Just the kind of color. So now we're going to start by taking just the line art. Go cut. I'm going to go down to just color and cut and grab the copy of line art and the color. We're going to put these in their own layer. Trazert said, take the color. I Control D. Hide that. Well, that's okay. Just switch back to this. Delete. Let's yeah, so that's the old portrait right there, and go ahead and hide that. Now we can take line art. Okay, so we can now take line art and color, and we can select. Well, we take the line art and position at this point. Line art and position, and we can transform. Drag them down a bit, and we can resize. Let's make this a better size to work with. Put her right there. That looks better. Yeah, it looks much better. And we can bring the old portrait back if we need to look at it. We need to grab colors from it or whatever. Wow, we're closing up on an hour already. I haven't done much of anything. I've just done a little bit of sketching around. I've mostly talked about how to organize folders. I don't think this has been an awful stream, has it? Like hugely terribly shitty? I hope it hasn't been hugely terribly shitty. I feel like I haven't been doing a good job on streams lately. I feel like I should do a better job. But I'm not sure how. Not sure how to do a better job. I'm comfortable doing streams at this point. It doesn't bother me. I don't feel nervous or upset or anxious when I'm getting ready to do a stream, and it's become a comfortable thing. So I think I'm in a good spot at this point to yeah, I think I'm in a good spot to kind of ramp things up and try to improve stuff. But I'm not sure exactly how I want to do that. So if you want to jump up my Discord and leave some suggestions or whatnot, or you can just send me a friend request, DM me. You can do that on Twitter. You can do that on the Discord. Either way, it's fine. Or just leave a comment on the video. And as always, do the little YouTube dance. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon, all of that shit. I don't feel like this was a great stream. I don't feel like it was a terrible stream. I don't feel like it was a great one. Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call this. I gotta go ahead and bring this to a halt. I need ritual. Ritual is important in these kind of things. I need a standard intro. I need a standard outro. You start doing some editing, and I don't really like editing. I'm okay at it. I know what I'm doing. I can edit videos in general. I can editing my own video. It's less than so yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream, and we will move on to something else next week, and I'm not sure what, but I feel like I need to make a plan, so I'm gonna do that. Okay, bye.